I surprised most of my friends and even some of my enemies in supporting Donald Trump.
We're winning in North Carolina. Based on turnout, I think we're going to win Florida. You know where else we're going to win? Right here. Nobody said it was going to be easy for us. But we will never be stopped. Never, ever be stopped.
As president, he exceeded my expectations in implementing the America First policies. And they were long overdue to truly make America great again.
We assembled here today are issuing a new decree to be heard in every city, in every foreign capital, and in every hall of power. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first. Every decision on trade, on taxes, on immigration, on foreign affairs will be made to benefit American workers and American families. For decades, American workers, farmers, ranchers, manufacturers, and innovators have been hurt by the unfair trade with China. Politicians ran for office promising action to remedy these practices, only to do nothing but allow them to continue. Unlike those who came before me, I kept my promise. In June of 2016, in the great state of Pennsylvania, I promised that I would use every lawful presidential power to protect Americans from unfair trade and unfair trade practices. With this signing, we mark more than just an agreement. We mark a sea change in international trade. The agreement tears down major market barriers for U.S. food and agricultural export. Millions of workers and farmers and innovators have waited decades for this day. At long last, Americans have a government that puts them first. We must protect our borders from the ravages of other countries, making our products, stealing our companies, and destroying our jobs. Protection will lead to great prosperity and strength. I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
He often said things that were cringeworthy, and some of the labels he affixed to political opponents in the media were harsh, if not accurate, and incredibly funny.
But the White House Deputy Press Secretary said the president was provoked.
I think that the president is pushing back against people who attack him day after day after day.
Nothing makes a man feel better than making a fake cover of a magazine about himself, lying every day and destroying the country.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the do anything.
Okay, I didn't like all of his tweets or his comments from the podium. And when people ask, how could I support him? I said, well, it's like choosing a doctor to do surgery on a member of my family. If my choice was between a kind, loving, praying surgeon who had the bedside manner of a pastor, but who had never successfully done that particular surgery, or I could pick a surgeon who was gruff, bombastic, and impatient, and who had the bedside manner of a schoolyard bully, but he had successfully done that surgery hundreds of times. I'd pick the guy with a questionable personality, but the experienced and skillful surgical hands. But you see, voting for a president, it's not like being put on a church pulpit committee and hiring a pastor. Ideally, I'd love to have people in office who share not only my political views, but also my personal views and my personality. But in the same way I choose someone to work on my car, fly the plane that I'm on, repair my home air conditioner, or dry clean my suits, I select people to work for me who are the best at what they're hired to do. Quite frankly, there was a reason that people were lined up on the sidewalk to get soup from Soup Man that we all saw in Jerry Seinfeld, right? The soup was good, even if Soup Man was an insufferable grouch. You know, there are going to be some very fine people running for president in 2024. And there are going to be some who could prove to be as worthless as a milk bucket under a bull. But just to be clear, I will again personally support President Trump so he can finish what he started during his first term.
But we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
You see, I believe he accomplished more to make America great again than any president in my lifetime, and that goes back to Eisenhower. There were presidents who were more articulate and had a more engaging sense of humor, such as Kennedy and Reagan. There were some who had great legislative savvies, such as Lyndon Johnson. Some were truly decent and kind human beings, Jimmy Carter, George Herbert Walker Bush. But no president helped this country get steered away from the insanity of socialist economics and insane policies on energy, the military, and the proper role of the courts, as did Donald Trump. No one. His tax and regulatory reforms put more than $4,000 in the pockets of working class families. His energy policies provided us with affordable energy for our cars and homes and made us energy independent over Middle Eastern countries who hated us. And we were energy independent for the first time in 75 years. His tough love to European nations who were derelict in paying their agreed-to dues for NATO. Quite frankly, what he did actually saved NATO. He was the first president since Reagan to not get us in a war. Yet he advanced the pay and benefits of our military and focused on our armed forces being lethal instead of just being diverse and woke. In 2016, I had the opportunity to introduce him in New York to 1,000 pastors, and I said, with him sitting right behind me, I wasn't sure he could find John 3:16 in a Mark New Testament. But let me say, no president ever did more for religious liberty than Donald Trump did. And no president was ever as pro-life as he was. And not just in what he said, but what he actually did. And by the way, he had the guts to move our embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, recognize Jerusalem as the rightful capital of the Jewish state, and enact the groundbreaking Abraham Accords. Maybe there are other conservative candidates for president who would do well, but who else could take and endure the relentless hate that he has faced and the never-ending persecutions and prosecutions of the demonic deep state? Hey, Donald Trump is far from perfect, but then so am I. And so are you. But I love my country. And I don't want it to be in second place or third place. I want it to be first. And I'll put up with a personality. Then it can maybe at times be vain and vulgar, but I'll do it to make America great again, and that's why I will support him again for president.